The fate of two children abducted and taken to France is now in the hands of the South African government, and concerns have been raised that the Gauteng provincial government won't be able to respond to a major disaster due to budget restrictions. Details at 5:30. Just had a pronunciation lesson. My next guest is Mr. Van Ginkel, not Van Ginkel, as I was saying a little earlier. Mr. Van Ginkel, and that's how we need to identify him, as well as two other people, Fabian and Lo. It's to protect the identity of their children, because they are Pretoria fathers who embarked on a campaign to have their rights heard. They believe that they are being unfairly denied access to their children, and they are turning now to the Equality Court, which I'm told is a first for the Equality Court. So, Mr. Van Ginkel joining us on the line. Thanks so much for your time. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, David. Thank you for having me.
How long a fight, and in what courts have you already taken this matter before going to the Equality Court?
David, I've personally been busy with a 4-year fight. Basically in the past 4 years, I've managed to see my minor daughter for about 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
At a huge cost. I've been to the High Courts. I've been to each and every possible avenue, and everywhere the doors have been slammed by the authorities in our faces.
On what grounds are you refused access to your child?
Well, the problem starts with we have a new Children's Act, read together with the Constitution, and also a little-known act called the Promotion of Equality and Elimination of Discrimination Act. Fathers theoretically are supposed to have equal rights with regards to care and contact with their children. Unfortunately, what few people know is that you have to apply for those rights. You don't automatically receive them. And the process starts with the Office of the Family Advocate. Now, the Office of the Family Advocate, in my personal opinion, is a organ of the state, which is a relic from the old South Africa, and they still practice the rule of the maternal preference rule.
Yes.
Meaning that a mother is a better parent than a father.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment you start your application, you have to knock at their door first. And that is exactly where they stump you. Because they will go out and try and find reasons to disqualify you as a parent. They will fabricate reasons to disqualify you as a parent. And you will never end up in court with a satisfactory, fair and equal parent contact.
So you're actually taking your action is against the Office of the Family Advocate, is it?
Our main respondent is actually the Minister of Justice, because he is responsible. He is ultimately responsible for the actions of the Office of the Family Advocate. We are also, as a respondent, we've added the Minister of Police, because in many cases, if a mother goes to the police with a claim that a court order has been transgressed or maintenance has not been paid, the police act immediately. But the moment the father goes to the police and says, I have a court order, I must see my children, and the mother is not complying, then the SAPS will sit back and say, sorry, we cannot arrest the mother.
And that
is a major problem.
It's not a lone crusade then. You've got a couple of other people who are bringing this action with you. I noticed that the case is Van Ginkel, Fabian Lo, and others. How many others are you?
We are 7 in total, bearing in mind that each of the fathers is acting on behalf of their children as well.
And you obviously the facts of the cases differ, but is the overall argument of this perceived bias by the Office of the Family Advocate and the lack of activity by the police, is that a common theme for all of you?
It's a common theme right through. The major complaints against the Office of the Family Advocate is biased against fathers, extreme long time to complete their investigations, and simple contempt of court orders. They consider themselves above the law. Mm-hmm. And where there's court orders, they simply are in contempt of it.
Now, at what stage are you with this bid to go to the Equality Court? How far down the line?
It has taken about a year to reach the stage where we are now. We are waiting for the reply from the respondents. There's 11 respondents in total, which includes 2 ministers, the MEC for Health and Social Development, also the Public Protector, and then the balance of respondents is advocates, family advocates, and psychologists. And by Friday this week, we're hoping to have their answers based on our application documents, which was about 702 pages.
Goodness. 702 pages, that's an appropriate number. So you're waiting for the answers from the respondents. You have no date for a hearing, obviously, then?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Theoretically, in terms of the equality laws, the judge who receives the paperwork must give a date for hearing within 4 days from us receiving their answers.
Okay.
So we're looking at getting a date maybe sometime next week.
Well, thanks so much for chatting to us. Best of luck with that. Mr. Van Ginkel, one of the people bringing this action to get access to his child, going to the Equality Court to get some resolution on that matter.